Introducing MyTrucking, where innovation meets logistics and a software solution to drive your success. No contracts, no setup costs, and world-class support. MyTrucking, your success is our destination.
Hey everyone, hope you can hear me all right. Thank you for coming along to the third in our webinar series. This is our third one we've done, but our first one for the year. Today we're going to be looking at the customer portal. So it's a really cool feature and a few people want to know more about it and take a look at it. So we're going to run through all of that today. Before we go through what the customer portal is, just a few items to get through. First off, should introduce myself. My name's Matt. I'm in the sales and support team, and also helping me out today is Donna, who is our operations manager, and Crystal, who is in our marketing and support team. So definitely say hello to those guys. And before we jump into the content, the only other one is from a plug. So for all of the current My Truckers watching, you'll know a little bit about our Refer a Mate program. If you don't, we know that the people who know My Trucking best are our customers, and you probably also know a few people out in the industry who could benefit from My Trucking and the benefits you receive. Usually, if you refer someone to us and they sign up and go ahead, you get a Prezi card. But for this quarter, so until the end of the month, we've put a bit of a prize pool together so that anyone who refers someone successfully will go into the draw to win a trip to Queenstown from any major airport in New Zealand and Australia. More information on the QR code there. So if you want to have a bit of a read about it or know a bit more about the terms and conditions, feel free to scan that one there and enter some people in. And then we'll see if we can hopefully get you on that plane to Queenstown. The other thing that would be good to know before we kick into the content is just a bit of a summary on how many people are aware of the system or have used it before, just so we know sort of a baseline for how specific to cover on things and what we can focus on most to give you the most benefit. So Donna, if you just want to fire that poll up and let me know when we've got some results so that I can focus on the rest of that customer portal content.
Yeah, cool. They're coming in now. So we've got 43% beginners, 40% never used, and a couple who rate themselves as the experts.
Oh, perfect. All right, so that's good. So we've got sort of a skew towards the basic side. So we'll still cover off all of the basics of the who, the what, the where, and the how. But we'll also make sure we focus on some cool little tips and tricks for those who call themselves experts to hopefully see if we can show them something new. So we will jump into the content. Just want to check, Donna, you can see the screen I'm sharing?
Sure can.
Perfect. All right, so if we jump into MyTrucking, there we go, we're in my demo account. So for those of you who don't know what the customer portal is, it's a really handy tool that allows you to give your customers, so our customers' customers, your customers, the ability to log into a section of MyTrucking to see not only the jobs that you're currently doing for them and the statuses, they can also see previous jobs and download copies of those jobs. But the real key to it is that it gives them the ability to log job requests. So if you've got a customer you're doing pretty regular routine jobs for, rather than having them call you or text you or email or however they get a hold of your dispatchers, gives you the ability to allow them access to log requests so that you can just automatically go through, see those jobs come in, accept them, and speed up that process. So as we sort of covered off, it is for your customers. So the thing we should show you first is how to get your customers access, and that's all done within the clients page. So if we go over to our clients, we can see a list of our clients, and I've set up a client just for today's demo. So we'll go and search for that. Oh, where is that gone? Oh,
Spelling
helps if I spell it right, doesn't it? I was hoping that wouldn't happen live, but oh well. There we go. So we've got our portal webinar demo customer. You can see I've got a couple of ones that I've used previously that have this little portal chit next to it. If I hover over that, that'll tell us that there is an active user. So it means that we've invited someone and they have accepted it. So whenever you're scrolling through your client list and you see that one pop up, that is what that means. So we will jump into our demo customer. We can see here that I've got an email address in here, mytruckingwebinars@gmail.com. So that's the one I want to allow access. So we'll go ahead and click on allow access, and then it pre-fills with the email address we've entered, or we can type in another one. Probably raises the first good point that I've had a few questions about, and that is how many emails can I invite per portal user? And at the moment, it is just one. So we recommend inviting either the main contact, or if they have a shared email address, inviting that one. It doesn't stop them from having multiple concurrent users. You can still have more than one person logged in at once. It's just defaulted down to one invite though. So what we'll do is we'll go over and send that invite. So now we've got that invite sent through, we'll be able to show you what it looks like from the customer's point of view. That's kind of the main thing we're trying to show here today is when we were recently out at a few expos, customers said, oh, look, I want to know more about the portal, but I'm scared to invite my customers without knowing exactly what they see. So through this demo here, we'll be able to show you that customer-facing side. But that also doesn't stop you from doing what a couple of our customers have done, and they've set themselves up kind of like we have today with a demo customer, and they've invited themselves so that you can see what it will look like from your customer's point of view. There are also a few optional things you can turn on. So while we're waiting for that invite to be sent through to our email, if we scroll on to the bottom here, down to the very bottom of our general settings page, we'll be able to see that we've got our display options for the portal. So we can quite easily turn on reference 1, reference 2, and reference 3. Obviously, those will have the names of your actual reference fields. So we can turn on which ones we want showing and which ones we don't. So for example, if you have, say, a subcontractor rate as one of your options, you can turn that off to not have it showing. You've then also got the attachments. So if you're getting proof of delivery signatures or proof of delivery photos of consignment notes or weighbridge dockets, you can have those showing as well for the customer. Then you've also got things like your order reference field and your agent and your buyer. Now those ones there I don't currently have turned on, so they're not going to be able to display in the portal. If you did want to know, say, what the agent or the buyer field is or what the order reference field is, when you're next in your MyTrucking, feel free to come over and click on the chat with us option and send through a message, and the team will be able to help you with that one. So now what we'll do is that invite should have shown up in our email address. So I'll just quickly refresh my inbox. There we go. We've got our invitation. So this is the exact invitation that your customers would see once you first invite them. It'll tell them who's invited them. So in this case, you've been invited by Neems Transport to create a customer portal account with MyTrucking. This will allow you to submit job requests to Neems Transport, but you'll also be able to view the status of your jobs along with the images the driver has returned and any updated quantities. So all we've got to do is click on this link and it will take us to the portal so that we'll be able to go through and enter in our portal. So we'll just chuck in our password. Let's see if I can remember this one. Hopefully we've got it right. We haven't. All right. Well, what we'll do is we will reset that password. The portal has a really cool feature that actually even MyTrucking doesn't have yet, and that is the ability to do a self-service password reset. So we'll head in here and we can see that we've got a code for our password. So we'll just copy that in and we will enter that and we'll create a new password. There we go. So it's thinking about that. Perfect. There we go. We are now in the portal as our portal webinar demo customer. The first thing you see is there's actually already some jobs created here. So what you'll notice as soon as you log in or as your customer logs in, they will see the history of their account. So if, say, you've been doing work for this customer for a while and you've only just added them into the portal recently, it will go back and retrieve their job histories. So that's one thing to double check to make sure, but it also means that the customer can see straight away the history of those jobs. So for example, this job that was done just over a month ago automatically has the signatures and the photos with it as well. So going through the different drop downs here, it's very much like a find jobs page for this customer. They can see the status of the jobs, any attachments, and the job information as well. The main thing that you can notice is that you've got the different statuses to the job. So if I hover over the status of done, I can see I've got a job ID. So if a customer ever calls you up and says, hey, I've got a question about a job you recently did for me, little tip is to get them to hover over the done chit, and that will give them the job ID. The other cool little tip that Bob, our portal developer, has added in is the ability to get a bit more information on the screen. So if you click Alt and then /, you'll get the origin time, so they know the time that it's being picked up. And if you do Alt /, you can actually see the vehicle that's used as well. So if there's, say, any jobs you're doing where a specific vehicle needs to be used, you can tell the customer to do those to see which vehicles have been assigned. So once again, that's Alt / to show the vehicle and Alt / to show the origin time. What we'll do is we'll get that added in the chat so you guys can see the combinations. So now what we'll do is that we've looked through the jobs, we can scroll down and we can go further back if there's more or increase the amount shown, is we'll probably go through and add a job. So for all the experts and the previous MyTrucking users, this page will look pretty familiar. It's got all the same information as the add job, it's just in a slightly different layout. So we'll go through and we'll choose our charge client. So the one thing to know as well is that the customer needs to set themselves as either the charge, the origin, or the destination for in order them to keep track of it. But in contextual sense, most likely they're going to be the charge, the origin, or the destination, so that's not a problem. So then we'll go through our origins. So we can see there are already a few in here, and you're probably wondering how they got there. So those are all of the origins that have been used previously in those other jobs we looked at before. So we'll use our portal pickup, and then we'll go through and we'll set up a new one, because let's say that it's a new destination to go to. We'll call it the portal drop off. So we're going to add that as a new. Much like you can search for the address in the backend MyTrucking, the dispatcher version, you can do the same here as well. So let's go to, let's say we're going to go, where do we want to go? Let's say we're going to go to the building site. So where's one of our building sites close? We'll go 416 Carter's Line. There we go. And for those of you who don't know, this is actually the MyTrucking office. So if you're ever driving past on Carter's Line or Bristol Road, feel free to give us a toot or stop on in for a cuppa. We've got a good machine. But let's say we're going to drop this one here, because instead of just getting dropped at the roadside address, we want to put a pin down to say this is going to be the actual drop-off point. So we will go ahead and check all the other information. All of that's good. So we'll hit save. Then what we can do as well is we can add in a attachment. So once again, we'll use that refer a mate image. So if we open that up, there, that one is there. If you didn't get a chance to grab that code last time, I'll hold here for a couple seconds. Definitely feel free to be, as you're watching this one, thinking about other customers, and if there's anyone you want to give a recommendation and win that trip, feel free. Then we'll come down to our product page. So we'll be able to see all the products that we've used before, but we can also, once again, add a new one. We'll say we're just getting some aggregate. So we'll say we're looking for, say, 20 tons. Then we can fill in any of our reference fields or add a note. And if there's a different product that's coming, we can add a row, or if there's multiple runs, we can copy that last row. So what we'll do now is we will hit the save and exit button. That then will create a pending job request for us. So we've got that one status is pending, and we've got the attachment included as well. So the next step will be to jump over and, as a MyTrucker, accept that job and run through that process to show you what it looks like as the job gets completed. But just before I switch over to the different screen, I'll just check in with Donna to see if there's any questions.
Hey, thanks, Matt. I thought we didn't have any questions, but we do have one that's come through in the chat box. So just encouraging everybody to not let off Matt too easily. Let's throw him some questions in the question tab, which is just to the left of the chat there. But we've got one from Matt. Are the origin and destinations filtered per customer, i.e. one customer cannot see the destination or pickup addresses of another customer?
Oh, good question. So that is entirely based on the job history. So you can see here that for this customer we've used the portal pickup, the test, the demo drop off, and some demos in some warehouses. So if you've ever done a job in the past, the origins and destinations for that will show. But my demo account has many, many different origins and destinations. But because I haven't used them for this customer, they don't show in my origin or destination. For example, we can see here there's probably maybe 10 to 15, but when I jump over to my actual account and go look at my clients, and we'll say, just show me my locations, we can see there's all these different locations that haven't been shown there. So it will only ever be reflective to the jobs you've actually done, and they can't actually search for other ones in your account. So you're definitely safe to say, as long as you haven't used that location in the past for that customer, it won't show up.
Got one more for you, please, Matt.
Sure.
From Mark, if a customer types in a new product, will it automatically be added to our product catalogue?
Oh, good question. That's pretty much taken me to where I wanted to go next. And that was when we come into our MyTrucking screen here, we've got a little icon that shows us one. So that's our import and review jobs. So this is, if you've ever seen this tab and you're not sure what it is, it's the source of all external jobs coming into MyTrucking. So just quickly going over the other ones, as they're important to know. If you're a New Zealander and you're doing any work in the livestock or the rural space, you've probably heard of Market2X, and you may have a couple of jobs for them. The API allows you to connect your MyTrucking and your Market2X to allow the jobs to flow through and be managed in MyTrucking. We've then got the import file. So if you're getting any jobs out of a system and importing them into MyTrucking as a spreadsheet, that's the way to do that. And then we have the MyTrucking API, which is one of our newer features, and I think it's probably one of the most powerful we've got in terms of the opportunities with it really are endless. It allows you to connect your MyTrucking system and other third-party systems. So we've got customers who use it to connect up to, say, their website for orders, or you can use it as well for, say, connecting to an inventory system to do stock management. But finally, we've got this customer portal one as well. Sorry, that was a bit of a long-winded way to get to the question from Mark, but this little icon here tells us that, hey, we don't actually have that destination in our system. It would do the same if it was a new charge client or a different product as well. And what that means is when we go to accept that job, so let's say in this case it was a product that didn't match, we can go through and add it or select the one we want it to match with. So we can see the portal pickup has matched and it's filled a link straight away, but it hasn't for the drop off. So we can go through and add that. So that's handy for that. But if say they were, say I created this as gap space 20, the system is smart enough to realize that, hey, that looks like a similar product. Do I want to merge that with my gap 20 no space or add a new one? So hopefully that covers off that answer. And it's kind of nice segue into accepting the job, because we've gone through and we've matched it all to see that it's all the same as what we want. So we'll go through and create that. So that has created a job for us, and we can see that we've created one and all our customer portal jobs are reviewed. So we can go into our day sheet and we can see that it's created that job for us. So if we just quickly go back to the portal and back to this page, we can see that that status quickly changed from created to accepted. And because it's been accepted, it's been given a job ID. So we have that one now. So what we'll do is, I know you've all seen this side before probably with creating the job and using the app, but any chance I get to show off the app, I will. So we'll just quickly assign the job to a driver, to a vehicle, sorry, and we know it's gone through because of the status icon here. And I will open up the mobile app on my computer, and we'll swipe that away. So I've just got the app running on my computer just as a bit of a hack around way, but it's the exact same app that you'd use on your iPhone, your iPad, tablets, Android phones. Really handy way for drivers to get the jobs out and get them back to you as soon as possible. So we can see that job going from the pickup to the drop off. We're taking 20 tons. So we'll go through and accept that job, and we'll go and make an update. So if say we get loaded up, we're never quite right, we get 19.86, we can see there's an attachment here. We know what that attachment's going to be. That's that refer a mate one to scan through the QR code. Then if we have anything we need to put in the reference fields, we can. But the main thing we're going to do here is we're going to add a signature, so we can get a proof of delivery sign off from the drop off. Much like a courier, just squiggle your finger on that. And maybe we'll take a photo as well, just to show that we've done the drop off. So we'll go to our gallery. I can't actually take any photos on this one because it's just my computer, but yeah, that looks close enough. We'll use that one. Then we'll hit send and upload, and that will fire that one through. So I've just really quickly run through the mobile app side, as most people do use it. But if you're not using it and you've got any questions about it, once again, when after the demo, click on the chat and send us a message.
I've got a question, Matt. What was that
Yeah, go.
uploaded jobs there in the mobile
Oh,
app?
sure. Yeah, that's a good question. That is one of our newer features. So obviously back in the day, if a driver uploaded a job too soon or misread a docket number and it needed to be updated, if you wanted the driver to update that, it required you to basically cancel off that line and resend it. Now on the newest version of the mobile app, you have the uploaded job section. So it gives the driver the ability to come into jobs they've uploaded and that you haven't marked as done. So very clear to know that it's jobs that the dispatchers haven't signed off yet, and they can go through and add that information in if there's anything that needs to change. For example, let's say we'll just change that one quantity, and we'll hit the send button and upload it again. That'll do a second upload and update the quantity for us. So what we'll do is we'll just refresh our screen and we'll double check that all the information's looking right. And then we can see that we've got that image, and we've also got some images from our driver as well. So if we just click on that one, we can see we've got, that image hasn't come through. I was too quick on it, but we can also see we've got the signature. So we'll mark it as done and hit save. Therefore, we will now go into the portal. And if I just refresh my screen, that'll change from accepted to done. And then if I click into that job, I can easily come into here and I can see that that job has been updated for us. So, and we can also see, because the job's been completed, I can't change any of this info now, which is really good. So the final thing to show you is obviously we've got all this information in here, but your customer might be running a spreadsheet of all the jobs they're doing for a certain contract and want to get the information out of here. So they can click on the CSV status, and it will allow them to export a spreadsheet based on a date range. So very easily can get that information out and add it where it needs to go. Finally, but basically the closing step is what happens if, say, your portal contact at the place moves on, or a new person is going to be running the portal requests. Much like when we invited the customer, it's very easy for us to uninvite that customer. So we just need to basically do the reverse of what we did before. So jump into the portal and look at our customer webinar and click X to remove them. It'll also send them an email, so it's very clear when it's done. Although I won't do that just yet, because that'll instantly remove our access to the portal. And I don't want to do that just yet, just in case there are any questions that people want me to go over. So once again, that's the portal in a bit of a nutshell. Hopefully that's given you enough information, or covered off some things that you weren't sure about. As I said at the start, next step is probably go invite yourself if there's still a few things you want to try out, or feel free to invite some customers, or flick us a message with any questions. And in saying that, I'll hand over to Donna to see if we do have any questions at this stage.
They're all being very shy, but I do have a question. Is
Yeah.
there a portal help guide, so the customers learn how to use it?
Yeah, good question. So definitely, I mean, the portal is pretty self-service. We always say that, it's very similar to the MyTrucking backend. So if you know how to use that as a dispatcher, you can probably talk your customers through how to do anything. But if your customers do click on this little head and shoulders up here, there's a customer portal user guide, and they can come in here and it'll give them basically a rundown of everything possible that you need to do. So definitely point them in that direction if they need to help adding locations, or you want to check out the location list, how the matching works. You can do all of that within here as well. So great for first point of contact for viewing and understanding it.
Cool. I've also just added a link, a notification should have come up bottom left there, our customer portal quick start guide. That might be nice first learning resource to send customers. And I can't recall, Matt, did you mention rates? Can customers see rates in the portal?
Oh, I didn't know, but that's a very good point. So the system has been built specifically not to show rates, so doesn't let the customer see rates of previous jobs, doesn't let the customer add in their own rates as such. Otherwise, we'd all be running pretty light on the margins if that was the case. But you can, as a workaround, maybe get them to put the if there's a quoted price that's been agreed on, they can pop it in one of the reference fields or in the notes.
Cool. And you showed us how the customer couldn't edit a job after it was marked as done. Can they edit
Mhm.
sometime before that?
Yeah, so anytime before a job is accepted, so anytime before we have, as the user, go into the import and review and accept those jobs, anytime before that job is accepted, you can come in and make changes to the job. So that's a handy thing to know.
Okay, cool. And can you have access to more than one portal as a customer?
Yeah, so as an end user, so if you say are a company that's getting work done by multiple MyTrucking customers, there is the way to obviously very easily jump between them. So if you click on this link here, if I say had another transporter that I was working for, I can easily switch between the profiles in this drop down here. So for the customer, it means log into one account and then have access to their different transporters. So really handy way to do that.
Cool. This has all been awesome. How much is it going to cost me?
I'm glad you asked. It is all included in your current MyTrucking package. For the ones that know, we only bill based on your amount of vehicles actually used in a month. So you can head over to our website. We are one of the only ones in the market that'll show off our price, and that's because we think you get pretty good bang for buck. And if you do manage to get the pricing out of the other guys, it'll probably be a damn sight more expensive. But in saying that, all of this is included. So the customer portal's included, the mobile app's included, unlimited amount of users, all included, just based on this pricing here.
Cool. That's all our questions, Matt. Thank you very much.
Awesome. All right. Well, hey, thanks for joining on this one, guys. We'll be doing another one soon. But as always, we want to hear from you the things you want to know most. So the customer portal was the last most requested one at our last webinar. So if you do have any ideas, chuck them through in the chat, and we'll be sure to see you guys again soon. Thanks for stopping by.